MRFC College Bound Collegiate Tips. And what a guest we have for you today. We are joined by University of Idaho Van Gaal's very own Madison Gustafson. Welcome, Madison.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. And we're also joined with our club's DOC, Luke Hills and Scott Rickley. Welcome, guys.
Hello.
So today we are going to do a little panel, and we're just going to ask Madison, questions in regards to her recruiting story, but also, in the questions in regards to the life of a student athlete. I'll start us off. Madison, I want to hear about your recruiting story from MRFC all the way to the University of Idaho.
So I was actually recruited really late. I was recruited around January of my senior year of high school. And it was later than what people usually go through, but I still got recruited to D1. So yeah.
Fantastic. And I also want to ask you a little bit, I know you had a head coaching change prior to you, going in as a freshman. How did you deal with that? And what were your emotions regarding, obviously, the head coach wasn't the head coach when you went there?
Well, it was a bit scary because actually going into my freshman year, we didn't have a coach for a little bit, and it wasn't until we started practices and stuff we actually got a new coach. And it honestly hasn't been too bad because our new coach is pretty great. So
fantastic. And then let's just talk about kind of like your day-to-day life. Can you tell me a little bit of the day-to-day life as a women's soccer player at the University of Idaho?
Yeah, so usually it's morning practices, and I personally like to get up super early before practices, so I wake up usually about 2 hours before practice. But no, we wake up, we go to practice. Usually it's a lift and then a practice and then classes, and then after that you have the rest of the day to kind of get whatever stuff you need to get done, and then social life a little bit, but yeah.
You kept busy indeed. Okay, and I know your start at the University of Idaho probably wasn't what you were anticipating fully. Having redshirted your freshman year, can you talk about how you dealt with that, and also your emotions, and also your kind of communication with the coach in regards to that process?
Yeah, so mentally I kind of came in thinking, I'm gonna play, I'm gonna start, and all this stuff, but I ended up going down the route of redshirting, and honestly, that was the best thing I could have done for myself, because coming in, I had that extra year to acclimate myself into being a student athlete. And on top of it, it's nice because I'm going to be doing 8 years of schooling with my degree. So I get an extra year of playing soccer to get my degree done. So it's been great.
Fantastic. Now, I'm going to pass you over to Rickley and Luke, and they'll ask some questions, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, hey, Maddog. So, I just wanted to touch base really with you. Obviously, I coached you during your senior year, and I wouldn't necessarily say that that I was there for you from your freshman through sophomore year, but in your senior year, you and I spent quite a lot of time together on the field, talking about recruitment and stuff like that. But just for athletes that are currently in that stage where you were, what advice would you give to them, in terms of recruitment right now? What did you do? What did you do off the field to get yourself noticed by these D1 schools?
Yeah, so looking back, here's something that I wish I would have known as, a freshman in high school is probably the best freshman to your senior year. The best thing for you to do is to go to ID camps, because that gets you up in front with the coaches and you can talk with them, you can listen to them, figure out certain coaches or like the programs if you want to go to those. And ID camps is the best thing that you can probably do for yourself.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. And the other thing, like coming from as a coach, and you kind of know me as a coach, and I'm a very goal-centric person, I have to set goals to push myself further and further and further. I know that's something that you tend to do as well in terms of goal setting. Is there any type of, again, advice that you can give our younger players, on goal setting and how to plan towards certain things?
Well, what I'd say is, with your goals, just be as realistic as possible. I know there were times where I wasn't as realistic with things that I wanted to do. Like at one point, I wanted to do 4 hours a day of soccer, and that was a lot on my body and stuff. And so it's just setting realistic goals for your training purpose and also what you want to do for school and stuff. Setting like maybe a standard of 30 minutes a day at the least, the bare minimum of you getting touches or you like doing different stuff like that. But it's just being realistic and all that. Yeah.
Awesome. And I think that leads into something that Scott wants to talk to you about. So I'll hand you over to Scott.
Yeah. What's the level difference between the club and the college level, and the time that is just showing up to training sessions 2 times a week enough to make it to that college level, or do you need to really put more time in?
College is way different than club. And a lot of it's just more like the competition you face and then like the challenge of day-to-day practice, because every practice is a clean slate. Like if you could play well the week before and then if you have a bad practice, it's someone else is going to take your position. So it's every practice is competitive. Every team you play, it's totally different. It's harder, I feel like. Your second question, training 2 times a day. I mean, personally, what I would do was do individual trainings on the days that I didn't do trainings with the club. And so I was focusing on the stuff that I needed to work on. Or one of those days was designated towards, researching colleges, finding out, what kind of degree do I want to go for? Does this school have it? Do I like this program? Do I like how far away it is from school? And so I would say you have to put in some work outside of practice in order to get to the levels that you do want to get to in soccer. And yeah.
Awesome. And special thing, what do you like doing on the off season? What's your schedule like?
Oh goodness. We have a little bit of an off season, and so I guess when I like to just chill at home and watch movies and just hang out with friends. It's kind of nice to have that like little break of just kind of like isolation to an extent, but that's kind of what I like to do on my off season, is just get a break from everything and just relax.
So it's good. It's good to switch off. It's good to switch off from soccer from time to time. Is that what?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. And last things, Mark, Maddie.
At MRFC, we're incredibly proud of you, Maddog. We really are. So if you have some advice for MRFC, the club, what can we do to better our college, pathway?
What I would say is just encourage players to go to ID camps. That's the biggest thing for me as a player is, I wish I would have gone to ID camps at a young age, and like every school I was interested in is go to those. So I would say, encourage your athletes and soccer players to just go out and go to ID camps and check out schools and stuff and get in front of coaches. That's my biggest thing. Yeah.
Great. Okay, thank you. MRFC College Bound Collegiate Tips with our special guest, Madison. Thank you, Madison.
Thanks, Maddog.